It is after hours on Friday, April 7, 2017. We had quite some news last 24 hours. We got airstrikes in Syria causing gold futures to spike. Then we got non-farm payroll numbers, a lot weaker than expected. A temporary spike. Then Dudley spoke and the entire move retraced. On top of that, we had Fed minutes on Wednesday, and the market took it pretty dovishly, and I was very surprised by that because I don't believe the Fed wants to replace rate hikes by tapering, by reducing its balance sheet. I believe they want to do that in parallel. And what Dudley said today, combined with the fact that Yellen thinks it's necessary for her to speak on Monday and even take questions on Twitter, is telling me that they have a communication problem and they want to make something clear. So what could they possibly want to set straight? And since the market took it very dovishly, the alternative is, hey, we misunderstood it, we being the market. So I know I've been ranting about the relative weakness of miners. I have GDXJ here on the right for quite some time now, and let me do it one more time. This was Fed Day. Since then, gold from here to here put on another $50. This spike corresponds to this spike in GDXJ. Since then, it went lower, sideways to lower. So this relative weakness, I think, is telling us something. We just need the bid in gold to disappear. And I believe that Monday 4 p.m. when she speaks could be that catalyst when the market finally realizes the Fed is not joking. They really want to get out of the way. And I must say, I have been very surprised by the strength that we have seen in gold all year. And I'm trying to figure out if I'm missing something. Is there something out there that I just don't understand? But the fact that she wants to speak, the fact that miners are acting so weak. I mean, $50 in gold and miners cannot make a new high. I mean, GDX, this is juniors, GDXJ. GDX acted a little better, so I don't want to, right, a little better, so it's at the top of that range. But it could still not make a new high except here temporarily today on this $50 rally in gold. This is terrible relative weakness. And I believe it makes a lot of sense to be long JDAS or Dust when she speaks on Monday afternoon. Since it's after hours, the question is, do we want her to speak first and look at the reaction of the market, or do we want to put on that trade beforehand? To answer that question, let's look at the risk reward. What is the risk that we are wrong? That Yellen just wants to speak on Monday because she loves to talk and she wants to take questions on Twitter because she loves Twitter so much. Right? Very, very unlikely. What are the odds that she wants to speak because the market is not dovish enough after the market took it very, very dovishly, the Fed minutes, after Dudley tried already to communicate, hey, I was joking, I didn't mean it that way. The tapering is meant to be in tandem, in parallel with the rate hikes. So what is she going to do? Yellen, Dudley, and Fisher are the three most important Fed members to begin with. They communicate very, very closely. So that Dudley said what he did say, that Yellen wants to speak on Monday, that she wants to take questions on Twitter, totally changing her behavior. She's not going to do that for no reason. I just don't see it happening. And if okay, how dovish could she possibly be that it would be enough for gold to go higher than it did today with the news we had today, right? Airstrikes in Syria, terrible non-farm payroll, and GDX could not even go above 24. And GDXJ even worse, could not even go back to the top of the range. The odds of that happening are very, very slim. If the market believed that gold wanted to go higher, miners would not act the way they act. At least I don't think so. So I believe miners are just waiting for weakness in gold to take the next leg lower. And if we zoom out here a little bit and look at the potential risk reward here, I find this sideways pattern reminds me very much of this sideways pattern and very much of this sideways pattern. What happened after that? There were significant moves. Let's assume that our thesis is correct, that the likelihood of the next big move to be higher is slim. The question is, how big of a move could we expect? And if we just look at recent history, we've had 4 big moves, right? This one is a $6 move. Then we have an $8 rally. Here we have a $6 rally. Here we have a $9 drop. So anything between $6 and $9, that gets us here in this into this area. I mean, this is a massive move. There could be, I mean, it could be 50, 60% move in JDAS. Not saying it happens in a day. I'm sure it doesn't. But looking at all the information that we have there, assessing that it is unlikely for a significant move higher, I believe it is worth taking a shot to be long JDAS or long dust ahead of her speech, or at least entering after hours on Monday when we see confirmation. I believe the reward is worth taking the risk. And the risk is twofold. The risk is, okay, she wants to be more dovish and we see a spike higher in gold and gold miners, or there is the risk of missing out for us to wait for her to speak and let the market already price some of that in, and to wait till Tuesday is open, and all of a sudden miners gap lower by 3, 4, who knows, 5%. So I believe the risk reward is favorable, and I will be playing it that way, and I will be entering JDAS or dust before she speaks on Monday.